so they could. The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
Those were the words of a stepmother heard before the media on January 27, 2020. A seemingly normal moment that opened the door to a nightmare that enveloped the entire city of Colorado Springs, and later became a sentence that made the public shudder. Gannon Stotch, 11 years old, a boy with gentle brown eyes and messy hair, lives on Mandan Drive, Colorado Springs. He loves video games, fantasy books, and is a model student, rarely causing trouble. Gannon lives with his biological father, Al Stotch, and his stepmother, Letitia Stotch, a substitute teacher. On the surface, their family is just like any other, but the invisible distance between Gannon and his stepmother still exists quietly. 1855, January 27, 2020, only 5 minutes left until Gannon was supposed to be home as usual. But he did not return. His stepmother, Letitia, the last person to see him, called everywhere to find him, but to no avail. Worried, she immediately called 911 to report Gannon missing.
I don't know if I'm supposed to call emergency or non-emergency. Sorry, I can barely talk, but my son was supposed to be home at 6 o'clock, and it's almost 7. And we went to, all his friend's house. He said he was going to be at his friend's house, and they said he wasn't there, and the other one said he never came there.
On the call, Letitia began to provide more details. Gannon was 11 years old, about 4 feet tall, weighed 90 pounds, wore a blue jacket, and took daily ADHD medication. Her voice was urgent, as if to emphasize the urgency of the situation.
How tall is he? Oh, my God. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really don't. Can you just give me an approximate? 4'10". How much does he weigh? 90 pounds. What's his hair color? Brown. And his eye color? Brown. What is his complexion? Fair. Okay. What is he wearing today? He had on a blue jacket, zipped up, pants, jeans, and shoes. On any medications? He takes Vyvanse every day. I'm sorry, what was that? He takes Vyvanse for ADHD every day. Okay.
The 911 operator transferred Letitia to the non-emergency number. She explained that Gannon had never been in trouble, was a good student, and repeated what her husband had asked earlier that day.
Yes. Okay. Has this ever happened before? No, but last night, so there were some things happened last night, and today, weird with my husband, we can tell him the officer about or whatever, but I don't know that would have been anything he would have been worried about. He's never been in trouble, straight A student.
Letitia included normal details to paint the image of a good boy, but at the same time, avoided answering directly about the disappearance situation. After the 911 call, police were dispatched to 6627 Mandan Drive. Bodycam footage captured the moment they entered, with Letitia standing by the door looking worried. She said she searched the entire house, but Gannon was nowhere to be found.
She was working, and it was something.
You got everybody now.
I know. It was something that we were just like.
Did he take his bike?
No.
Okay, because somebody saw a little kid on a bike. They posted it, but I didn't know if he brought it.
Well, he did, unless he took it sooner and brought it back, because Lena ends up getting the bike.
Okay.
And rides the bike because hers had broke. When she ran into him, I say ran into him as in not physically,
right,
but she somehow got his bike because hers wouldn't work. So he could have at one point.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
An officer politely offered, if it were not too much trouble, to check around the house to make sure Gannon was not hiding somewhere.
Hey, do you mind if my partner looks around the house real quick?
Yeah.
Because kids, they hide. And
Thank you.
Oh,
They can hide for hours.
Yeah, no, we've already checked the camp, like the.
Is there any other kids here?
Yeah, there's kids here. I say kids here.
There's my sister and 2 dogs.
Okay. Right for it.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, he was out there because they left and blah, blah, blah.
So, just tell me a timeline. I know you said that y'all were going to go get at 6.
Yeah, so it
So
was.
you're supposed to be come back here, but you went out there.
Right. So
What happened between that?
Okay, so he 3:15 here. He was coming every day.
After being allowed to check in, Letitia said Gannon said he was going to sing at a friend's house, but she wasn't sure what time he would leave.
He said he had already talked to my husband about being on conviction. So he said he was going to his friend's house to play video games.
And what time did he left at 3:30?
I don't know the exact time because I was correcting his carpet thing downstairs.
Okay. So he.
And he's free. Like my husband's like very more free than I am.
The answer just gave the location of your house, but left out the time, creating an inexplicable gap in the timeline. When pressed further, Letitia said Gannon had several friends, including Connor, but the identity of the friend with an older sibling was unclear. She also mentioned a missing Nintendo Switch.
Always want to be the one to talk to everybody about it instead of.
Well, how about your husband? Does he talk to these people?
Yeah, he's been on the phone with a bunch of them. He's in Oklahoma, Fort Steele right now.
Is there anybody he hasn't been able to get a hold of?
No, he said he's talked to everyone that he knows of. The only concern we had is he was talking about the friend with the older sibling, and we don't know who that one is. That's the one we don't know.
Do you guys have a name for that
because
person?
we don't know who that person is. We've never heard him say like specific name. And my husband said when he talked to him today that there was no like specific name for that. He didn't give him a name. He just told him no. So.
And he took his game console bill.
Yeah, they have.
The lack of information about this friend, combined with the details of the missing gaming device, makes the case more unpredictable and opens up the possibility that Gannon left home on purpose. On the morning of January 28, as the first light crept over the mountains of Colorado Springs, Mandan Drive was a different place. Police cars, volunteer search teams, and reporters crowded the entrances. The sound of walkie-talkies and hurried footsteps created a tense atmosphere. Locals, even those who did not know the Stotch, bundled up in warm coats, shared maps and phone numbers. By this point, the case was no longer a private matter. It was a community effort. And when the search had yet to yield results, on January 29, Letitia was summoned to the station for her first interview with investigators. During the interrogation, Letitia recounted the outing she took before Gannon went missing.
Okay, so we went hiking at Garden of the Gods. Did you see the picture from Garden of Gods?
I didn't.
Okay, so we have pictures where we went to Garden of Gods. We were going to take the dogs for a walk, but then my daughter got called in to work because she works at Massage Baby.
Okay.
Gannon, he started having a stomach problem, and he pooped in his pants. So it kind of cut our hike a little bit short, but I was like, it's okay, it was getting kind of cold. I say cold for me, but I'm used to like 80-degree weather, so it was kind of getting cold.
The lengthy narrative, interspersed with everyday details and the inclusion of photographs, makes the story seem more authentic. However, the emphasis on stomach issues and peed in his pants may be Letitia's way of setting up an explanation for Gannon's behavior or condition later on.
You know how so there's like sensors for your fire alarm, and then there's sensors for your like alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to everything, trying to like fan it while it was going off, because I was thinking kitchen, fire, nothing's wrong, whatever. So I was putting like towels over some of the sensors because I thought that was like monitoring the fire thing, whatever. And then I realized it kept going and going. So then I see smoke coming up from the downstairs. So I run downstairs, and my idea of a big fire is, so I don't remember the order of how we all ran out the house, but I know that at that point I did. She ran out, and I can't remember if I ran out to make sure they got in the truck or if she ran out by herself. I don't remember that part, but I do know that had gotten in the truck. I came back inside, run back downstairs, and that's when I was trying to get Gannon, because I didn't know how to get everybody at once. So my main thing was to get the front people out, and then go.
Letitia's description was both calm and detailed, but no one but her witnessed the fire.
Were any of them like damaged whenever that happened?
Oh yeah, they all. I left them all there when I showed them that night that, like they were damaged or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I haven't been in the house either.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was speaking to you like you.
Yeah. Nope. I didn't go into the house either, so I was just trying to make sure that we're.
Yeah.
So then Gannon decides that he doesn't want to go to school because of his tummy issues, or because he's going to help you with the carpet. What is?
It was kind of a combination of both.
Okay, and who excused him from school?
But I had texted Albert and said, could he not go to school for his stomach?
Okay.
Because he was hurting with his stomach, but also the whole plan was that we were going to figure it out.
So who actually contacted the school to excuse him?
It wasn't me. I didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
She recounted how the boy had been home with a stomachache and needed care. But keeping him home instead of going to school created a gap that ended up in the investigation. Immediately after describing the morning of January 27, Letitia turned her suspicions outward, suggesting that Gannon's friend's brother or an online acquaintance had picked up the boy. This ambiguity served as a buffer before she entered a tense interrogation with Agent Jonathan Grusing. On March 14, 2020, after Gannon's body was found in Florida, Letitia was brought in for a formal interview with FBI agent Jonathan Grusing, a lengthy confrontation that clarified every inconsistency in her previous testimony.
Well, I mean, so I'm getting charged with what now?
So you were charged in a judge in Colorado Springs signed off. So the way this case worked was El Paso County got the original case. They didn't have enough manpower to work it.
Okay.
So they called the FBI. I'm part of for the FBI, I'm an extension of the profiling unit, and I came in and assisted. And I've been helping for about the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Grusing told Letitia that the FBI got involved because of a lack of investigative manpower, and that he, who is part of the profiling unit, has been assisting for the past 3 weeks with the field response team and other agents to obtain search warrants and collect evidence. When questioned further about the outing before Gannon's disappearance, Letitia described it as a planned trip for her son to relax and see the sights, noting that Gannon had enjoyed the scenery but had been unwell during the trip. From there, the interview progressed to asking her to detail each hour of the day on January 27. She gave a detailed schedule from the morning through the afternoon, including being in the basement around 3:30 p.m. the same time Gannon disappeared. Then, when the agent brought up the possibility of physical evidence, Letitia quickly offered an explanation that if blood was found, it would be because her son had suffered from frequent nosebleeds since childhood. This sounded prepared, with the intention of undermining any adverse findings during the investigation.
What?
Or put it or flung it. And again, Letitia, I think you get mad when I say a verb or something, whether you placed it, flung it, dropped it, hit it, I don't know. But all I know is that our FBI evidence response team recovered it.
Okay. Did you check everybody else in the house?
As far as for their DNA?
No, not the DNA, to see if they put it there. Because you remember, these are the people that were in the house when I wasn't there. Did you check all them?
The people in the house.
Yeah, did you check the people in the house?
You mean the crime scene people?
No, I mean the people that I'm sorry, rephrase that, because you don't like that was allowed to stay there when all this stuff you're talking about would have been there. Okay?
Correct.
Did you check all these people?
As far as their DNA?
No. Did you check to see if any of them did this?
Drove and threw that wood up there?
Did you check them?
Their GPS, their phone.
No. Did you check them? Because that is doesn't matter. You mean to tell me you checked Veronica's GPS and her phone?
Did not.
Okay.
No.
Grusing didn't speak loudly, but each sentence was like a knife cutting into the story Letitia had constructed. Midway through the interrogation, the atmosphere in the room began to thicken. Letitia sat across from Agent Grusing, her eyes wavering between defensiveness and anger. The more she was questioned, the higher her voice became, interspersed with counter-accusations that this was a trap, a setup to accuse her. Her evasions went beyond denial, and she actively probed the questioner's motives, as if turning the interrogation into a counter-interrogation. Meanwhile, outside the room, the entire Colorado Springs community was watching every development. In early February 2020, local television continuously broadcast news about hundreds of volunteers rushing to join the search for the 11-year-old boy. The images of people wearing winter coats, combing through every bush, sending the message that they would not give up, put even more pressure on Letitia. During this time, she made a brief media appearance, affirming that she would never harm Gannon and sending the words, "I love you, miss you" straight into the camera.
We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
For many viewers, this was an emotional moment. For investigators, it was a media move aimed at winning the hearts of the public. On March 20, 2020, shocking news from Florida completely changed the situation. Gannon's body was found in Santa Rosa County, thousands of miles from Colorado. This information ended the search, but opened the stage of indictment and preparation for trial. More than 2 weeks earlier, on March 2, 2020, Letitia was arrested in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The image of her in a blue prison uniform, her hands cuffed, was a stark contrast to the devoted stepmother image she had tried to build in front of the public. 4 o'clock April 2023 El Paso County Court. Amid the thick atmosphere of the courtroom, the prosecutor spoke in a steady but weighty voice. Count 1, first-degree murder of a child under the age of 12 by a person in a position of trust. Each sentence readout was like a hammer blow, carving out the undeniable crime. Faced with such heavy sentences, Letitia remained motionless, her face almost expressionless, as if detached from the reality unfolding before her eyes. A month later, in May 2023, the judge's voice rang out decisively. The court sentences the defendant to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the camera panned to the audience, a photo of Gannon smiled, a reminder that behind all the legal details, this was the story of a family who had lost a child forever. In every shocking case, besides the pain and anger, there is always a moment of silence for us to reflect on ourselves and society. The case of Gannon Stotch is not only the story of a child lost too soon, but also a strong warning about the responsibility of the community in protecting the vulnerable. It reminds us that the safety of children depends not only on the family, but also on the observation and care of neighbors, friends, teachers, anyone sensitive enough to recognize the abnormality. A question should always exist in everyone's mind. If it were me, would I dare to speak up when I saw signs of danger? Society is only truly safe when every individual considers protecting children a shared responsibility, not leaving it to anyone else. And sometimes, just a small action at the right time, we can save a life.